Checkpoint Theatre presents Vulnerable, written and performed by Cheyenne Alexandria Phillips, dramaturged and directed by Jose Sulaiman, with music and sound design by Shah Tahir. 6. Outside.
A birthday party. 16 August 2020. So exciting! Is this the first time you'll be out in a while? Not exactly. I've been out to walk around a bit. I've been acting like a puppy dog, accompanying my parents on essential outings. Anything to get out of the house and into the car at the very least. But it would be the first time I hang out with friends. It was Roxanne's birthday, a special occasion. It would also be the first time we had game night in person this year. There was much to celebrate. Case numbers were averaging just 5 to 7 a day. I could be with friends. I could be at someone's home. I could pick up the surprise birthday cake. I forget about the pandemic for a moment and hug everyone. Everyone looks the same and yet different from our Zoom calls. It's like meeting Buzz Lightyear at Disneyland. You know they were going to be taller than they appeared on screen. Dinner is normal. As though we haven't been social distancing for months. Like we are just catching up, like we normally do. But things aren't normal. These are the things people are saying. I started a new job, and it's interesting, but I haven't met any of my colleagues in person yet. I was accepted to do my master's. Hopefully, I'll be able to do it properly in the UK. We have to see how it goes. My boss wants us to go back to the Philippines to teach and do remote learning. Like that makes sense. I have nothing new to report since our last Zoom meetup. Nothing new has happened because nothing is going on. The only thing exciting to happen recently was this night. A night with my friends, playing Singaporean Dream and Cards Against Humanity. One game pokes fun at the life we all hope to live, and the other allows us to all vent out our frustrations at the year we had instead. Someone says the word cake, and the room freezes. It was supposed to be a surprise. I tell Roxanne to go hide in a bedroom. She giggly tells IG stories what happened. She comes out looking surprised anyways. We sing. She blows out the candles. The pandemic feels like a distant memory. It's a bubble we have created. And our bubble bursts when someone says, "Guys, gotta remember our mask." Favorites. The Trace Together app has a favorite section. Why does the Trace Together app have a favorite section? Like, you can mark certain check-in points as your favorite check-in points. Why? I feel like the engineers who built the app do not understand the meaning of the word favorite. It refers to an extreme liking or preference for something or someone. I wouldn't call the neighborhood mall my favorite check-in place. It's a location that I visit frequently, but it isn't my favorite place. I haven't been to some of my actual favorite places in over a year. Do I have to go there just to claim that their check-in points are my favorite? If I never go there, does that mean I cannot have any of my actual favorite places on the Trace Together app? Also, I don't think people would deem their workplaces their favorite places to enter. And most it would be places I have to be pretty often. That doesn't mean I have to like it. But I guess that might be too long of a name. Okay lah, engineers. Carry on. Freelance life. The word freelancer was originally used to describe a medieval mercenary who would fight for whichever king paid the most. It was bought loyalty. Allegiances change with the weight of gold. Today, freelancers don't ride horses or wave metal swords. I don't even know where I would secure my horse after a long day of freelancing. Maybe somewhere in Yishun. Today, freelancers are individuals who offer their services to different companies and receive a sum for it. It might be a big sum. It might not. 2020 was the year freelancers and self-employed persons started receiving more attention and support from the authorities in Singapore. The gig economy was on the rise. Then the pandemic became the cliff edge that our horses had to skid in order to stop in time. Now we are hanging by a branch just under the edge of that cliff. When you are hanging by a branch just under the edge of that cliff, none of your past clients will feel obligated to pull you up. You pledged your loyalty temporarily. So here you are, hanging by yourself. Any kindness you receive is just that, kindness. Someone throws a rope, not because they must, but because they want to. Someone lends a hand, not because they are legally obligated to support you, but because they don't want to see you fall. I was lucky enough to have built a network of kind and supportive people who offered work in a time when there was barely enough to go around. But I learned that there were those to whom I offered loyalty, but who didn't offer kindness back when I needed it the most. The ones I was most loyal to whom I dedicated the most time, did not even try. The key success of a freelancer, I feel, is knowing which kings will be willing to take you in during a deadly plague, feed you, and stable your horse, even when there are no wars to be fought. Cousin Mark's 21st, 26 September 2020. My sister, two of my cousins, and I take our baby cousin Mark out for dinner and drinks. It's his birthday. I should stop calling him a baby. He's 21 now. He became an adult in the year of the pandemic. We eat at a place in Clarke Quay. Mark is a regular there. Not only do the staff know his name, this place has been a prominent feature on his Insta stories since restaurants in Clarke Quay were allowed to open. When bored at home, I tune in to him doing his math homework with a glass of whiskey to keep him company. Kids these days. His friends are around, but we don't mingle. We see them and wave hello from across the dining area. Anything more could result in a fine for the restaurant. That would ruin a celebration. This birthday is a milestone in the family, and not just for my not baby, now young adult cousin. He's the last to turn 21. We are all in adulthood now. Clarke Quay is party central in Singapore. I've spent 1 or 2 New Year's Eves here when I was closer to 21 than my current age. Everything needs to close by 10:30 p.m. now. COVID restrictions and all. I know I'm getting old because I'm grateful for the 10:30 curfew. I don't have to pretend I'm enjoying myself until 1 in the morning. Government says it's time to go home means it's time to go home. This comes in useful later in the night when a drunk 21-year-old thinks he can go bar hopping. There are stories throughout the night of how cheeky Mark was when we were growing up, how he tried to trick us into buying him collectible soccer cards from 7-Eleven. We went down to visit our aunt in Australia a long time ago. There is a picture of us taken in her garden. Me pushing him, a small infant, in a wheelbarrow, while my sister is holding a video camera. In another world, he would have booked out a bar, invited everyone, the extended family, his friends, anyone who could use a drink, down to celebrate with him. I would still have to talk a drunk 21-year-old into going home. In a different world, Uncle Daryl would have been here with us, celebrating. We raise a glass to Uncle Daryl. And happy birthday, Mark. Carols for a Pandemic. 28 November 2020. I think I'll wear the Santa hat lah. It's more Christmassy. Mum's choir group is trying to piece together a virtual performance in time for Christmas. They will all sit in their homes, video record themselves singing, and then someone else will stitch it all together. Mum decides what background she wants in the video, the living room curtain, and I position her desktop, my tripod, and her phone to get the best possible angle, so she can read the lyrics off the monitor, listen to the song in her earpiece, and look like she is looking into the camera. No one else is allowed in the living room. We turn off the fan because we can hear it in the background. Dad opens the bedroom door. Dad! Oh, sorry. And now we have to start over. I hide in my room so my breathing does not get captured accidentally. We do this at night, when we hope there is no traffic from the main road to interrupt and make us start over. Again. It takes an hour to record 2 songs, which I think is pretty decent. We drop the videos into the Google Drive folder created specifically for this. Mum says that the final video will make it sound like the choir is singing together in the same room. It may not seem like such a big deal, but I really did like being able to help with that. We can't have our big Christmas party this year, like we do every year. But at least we tried to invite a little Christmas spirit into our home. Lessons from COVID-19. No one is invincible. Licking toilets is a bad idea. Home was not made for work. Lumbar support is important. Teaching is hard. Remote teaching is harder. Home is where everyone you love is safe. Hoarding is not the answer. No one can finish 1,000 packets of instant noodles. Grocery stores don't accept returns of produce. The true size of social circles is revealed. The friends who call are the friends who can. Hugs make the world less lonely. Binge watching Netflix is never healthy. The family plan means we all watch different shows at the same time. There is only so much resting you can do. Home is where your bosses cannot spy on you. Shoes were made for walking, not falling apart on shoe racks. A COVID bag is an essential accessory. Routines are something we fall into. Sunsets get boring from the same viewpoint. Dust still collects even when you are constantly at home. Watching renovation shows is cheaper than going to IKEA. Fish don't make the best lockdown pets. There isn't enough wall space to hang another jigsaw. 3 people on 3 different conference calls kills the router. Routers can be replaced for free, thankfully. Masks need to cover your mouth and nose. Supply can eventually meet demand. Safety over freedom, period. Not everyone is vulnerable, but no one is invincible.
Vulnerable is developed and produced by Checkpoint Theatre. To support the creation of original Singapore work, please make a donation to Checkpoint Theatre at www.giving.sg. Checkpoint Theatre's Vulnerable, produced by Hosea Sulaiman and Claire Wong, written and performed by Cheyenne Alexandria Phillips, dramaturged and directed by Hosea Sulaiman, sound engineering, music and sound design by Shah Tahir, production stage manager is Sumono, assistant dramaturg Mal Yen Tay, marketing and publicity by Lam Ishon and Jane Lim, additional support by Nicole Wong. If you have the time, we would love to hear from you. Please give us your feedback by following the link in this episode's description.